Weirdest video start ever. Gentlemen, what is happening? Today? Alright, here's the truth. I have always wanted to use the term debunk in a video. It sounds so, super cool to me. Well, today I finally get my chance because I am debunking the myth that shaving actually causes your hair to grow back thicker and coarser. More coarser... Not the issue. One of the most common of grooming wise tales is that when you shave, if you manscape, you're actually going to cause the hair to grow back thicker, more coarse. Well, here's the deal. That is absolutely 100% unequivocally not true. But I can understand why you may think, or your hair gives the illusion, that it actually is growing back thicker, coarser, all that jazz. So today we're going to talk about why. And here's how it works. When a hair has never been cut or trimmed, that hair has a nice fine point on it, making that hair appear thinner, softer. Okay, you see where this is going. But what happens? You come in and you shave it. You come in, chop that bad boy off. And what's happening now? That fine point is gone. That hair is flush to the skin. And so visually, you're actually seeing a cross-section of that hair. So when you look, you're actually seeing more hair surface area. So it may look like that hair follicle is actually a little bit larger. All right, now when it starts to grow, remember, short hair is more coarse. You're feeling it, you're like, it's more stubbly. And as that hair grows, it gets softer, just like your beard. But when you actually remove that hair forcefully, as is the case when you actually pluck with tweezers or you're actually getting something waxed, you are removing the hair from the follicle base or the root. Now, what's happening is when that hair starts to grow back, you're actually having a nice fine point, like nature intended. And this brings me to a very important point. I don't know why. I do know why, because it's easy. There are still some guys out there that in order to remove the hairs on their eyebrows in the center, they actually just use a razor and shave it. And this is something that is a personal pet peeve of mine, because I see it. I'll meet people and I'll be like, oh my god, you've got all these little black spots or dots, the cross sections of those hairs showing, and they're all showing all at once. Same thing happens when you're using a cheap pair of tweezers, and you know they're cheap because you'll go to pluck and it snaps, alright, or it breaks that hair. You know when you pull one out and you're like, oh sweet, you get the whole thing, and sometimes you're like snap and you're like damn, and you try to get, and it doesn't work. That's why it's so important to use a pair of high quality tweezers that actually grip and grab the hair as opposed to cut or break them. For me, it's all about Apex. The Apex round tip tweezers are hand honed. These babies will grab onto the smallest of hairs. Don't shave the eyebrows, gentlemen. It just doesn't look right, okay? Get rid of it. Wax it, tweeze it, whatever you need to do. Now, let's talk about nose hair for a second. You guys saw the video probably a while ago that I did where I actually went and had my nose hair waxed. Well, I'm not sure if you saw it, but there was a follow-up video where I went and had a complete nose hair waxing fail. There's a link down below to that video. I have not had my nose hair waxed since then. It was a complete failure because it took this lady like 3 yanks to get the wax out of my eye. By the time I left, my nose was swollen, my eyes were watering. It was a miserable experience. And so, I haven't been plucking nose hair. And I know that people out there are like, oh, it's so bad, you need the hairs to filter, whatever. I'm not talking about that. And there are others that are like, oh, infection. What I did notice from actually plucking or pulling the nose hair is that sometimes you get ingrown hairs. Pimples and ingrown hairs inside your nostril, not fun. To say the least. And that last time that I had the nose hair waxing fail, I had like 4 of them, and so I haven't been back. So I've been cutting and nice and neat and pruning my nose hair. But gentlemen, here's the deal. Pulling your hair out, shaving your hair, removing your body hair, doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter how. The fact is that your hair follicles are not growing back thicker, stronger, more abundant. It's just not happening. I know there are some that aren't convinced yet, so let me lay this one on you. Say you're bald or you're losing your hair and you start shaving your head. Exactly. They would look like a chia pet in 2 years if shaving actually caused it to grow back thicker, stronger, longer, more lovely and lean. And I am now confident that we have officially debunked this bitch.